So I found this post on the Pokey Investing subreddit that I wanted to share with you all because I think, if you didn't just start out, investing in the Pokemon, you didn't just get into Pokemon just to invest, which it's fine if you did, but a lot of, investors did start just opening packs and then it converted and we found this investing space. And that was sort of me. I didn't start off just investing. I opened a pretty good amount of product and I think, people that started out just opening product and now they're investing, and you look at what could have been, right? Remembering all the stuff you opened up, and you look at today's prices and you're like, man, I had these at one point. If only I didn't open them. Now, that's not to say that you made the wrong decision, because obviously you have to separate opening stuff up and investing. But some of these things are pretty crazy. You're like, wow, if I just kept it sealed in, I would have a lot of money. And that's why I wanted to share this post with y'all, because I thought it was sort of funny. This person, posted this, and it sort of reminds me, because guys, believe it or not, I know it might sound crazy, but I back then was opening up stuff, and I in fact opened up Evolving Skies booster boxes. I believe in total I opened 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes, and to me back then that was kind of crazy, because even at that time that was about like $400 or $500 total. Obviously now you do the math, what Evolving Skies booster boxes are at, that's over $10,000. And like I said, you do have to separate, like, yeah, at the time I was opening it, and obviously, did I know this was going to happen 4 years later? No, but it's crazy to think about it. And this is just, I guess, one of the examples of somebody looking back, and I guess they had all this bulk, and they're like, wow, what could have been? And obviously, they're a Pokemon investor because they're, posting this on the Poke Investing subreddit. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So it says, you've heard of buyer's remorse, but let me hit you with one better. Ripper's remorse. TLDR, I found some old rip boxes and their bulk was really peaked. We really peaked back then. So let's just look at what they have here. So they have a code card here. So if you guys want to take that, but it's probably already taken. I mean, it's been posted on here. But let's see what they have and just do a rough estimation of the value. So honestly, I didn't check just before making this video exactly what these at, but I'm going to give some sort of estimations based on what I checked maybe about 4 days ago. Chilling Reign. So they have 1, 2. They have 2 Chilling Reign. No, 3 Chilling Reign. Those are at 600. So that's about 1,800. So let's just say 2,000. Battle styles. They have a lot of battle styles. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Is battle styles above 200 now? I don't really know. Let's just call it 1,000 for all these because I haven't checked. So we're at 3,000 already. Okay, $3,000. Vivid Voltage, they have 2 of them. Vivid Voltage, they're going, I think, for around 2. Let's just say 500 for both. I don't know if it's 200 or 250 at this point. So we're at what? So 2,000 plus 1,000, 3,000. So 3,500. Is this Darkness Ablaze? It's probably around 250, 300. Let's just say 300 just to give it the upside. 3,300. Fusion's at 1,000. So 4,300. And Evolving Skies. This is probably the most painful one. I believe these are around $3,000 now. If I remember seeing, it was pretty. I'm pretty sure they're around 3,000. So 5 times 3,000, guys. This is what hurts the most. Just knowing, man, 5 times 3,000, guys. That's $15,000. That's not a small chunk of change. Like, oh, it's a few $100s. I don't care, right? Opening, battle styles, Vivid Voltage. It's a lot more than that, and it's painful to think about. Wow, if I just kept these boxes sealed, maybe forgot about them, or maybe hid them and later found them today, I could have, tens of thousands of dollars. It really pains you to feel that way, like knowing that you had it at one point and it's just gone. Tens of thousands of dollars. I don't care what people say. Knowing that you opened something that was that cheap back then, obviously, it's all hindsight. But now seeing how expensive it is, that's what hurts the most. So, $15,000. I mean, you do the math with everything. This person, in terms of investing, lost, obviously not taking account the principle of how much they paid for these boxes, which they bought it, assuming back then when boxes were like $100. They lost out on like $20,000 of money that they could have made investing. Now, like I said, obviously, this was when boxes were cheap. Nobody really knew exactly what was going to happen in the near future, what was headed. But man, to think about that is crazy. And you even think about the scale of this. This is actually not that much. If you do consider back then, you could have bought these. Evolving Skies was always above like 100, like it was always like 120, 140, like around that range. Let's just make it simple. Everything here was bought for 100 because Chilling you could have bought at $80 at one point. So let's just do the math. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 or did I miss some? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 boxes if I didn't miss any. So on average, let's say they paid $100. That's $1,600. Now, obviously, that's still a large amount of money, but compared to 20,000, it's nothing. So you think about that, it's pretty crazy. Like, wow, from $1,600, obviously, I'm assuming they probably didn't pull anything from Evolving Skies. Guys, I opened 4 Evolving Skies booster boxes. I think I may have pulled like a alt art that was like worth $20. It was terrible. That's why I stopped opening up Evolving Skies. But to think about that, they paid $1,600, probably somewhere around there, and now it's worth 20 grand today. And this is all within a span of 3-4 years. It's pretty crazy to think about it. And you know what? That's sort of one thing that, changed my mind from, obviously, like I said, you have to keep stuff separate. You can open stuff up and, invest at the same time. You can 100% do that. But just thinking about like some of these products now today that are seen to be not that expensive or maybe a tiny bit expensive, think about how people are going to look back on opening some of the stuff currently and where those prices are going to be, assuming Pokemon history repeats itself and we have some high flying sets of Scarlet and Violet, how those are going to perform when they go out of print and so on. It's pretty crazy to think about. So let's just read some of the comments, and you guys can comment down below if you guys have had this as well, some rippers remorse, because it's pretty crazy how it doesn't even have to be a large scale amount that you opened back then, because some things have like 25x from $100 or 30x. It's ridiculous. You could have literally opened like a case of booster boxes and lost potentially tens of thousands of dollars. I ripped a case of Evolving Skies on release day. My LCS was doing booster boxes, $97. Whole case was $600. Pulled Moonbreon and Rayquaza from the same case. So, hey, they didn't get off too bad there, but I mean, a sealed case now is worth who knows what. But yeah, that has to hurt seeing the prices now, but it is what it is. If you're opening for profit and not for the love of cards, you shouldn't be opening Pokemon cards. I mean, yeah, because like you have to keep it separate. Even if you look back and you're like, wow, like I lost all this money, it is separate. It was differently priced. You didn't know it was going to this point. Yeah, but still, it hurts deep down. There's no one that can say, like, seriously, that it doesn't at least hurt a little bit. It doesn't matter if you don't care about money. The fact that you opened something that was maybe a few $100s and now it's worth thousands. You can't say that does not hurt. Like, it hurts. A lot of people are speculating like crazy in these comments. There was zero way of knowing what these boxes would be worth today. Honestly, I feel like the most obvious one was Evolving, and the first booster boxes I really bought for investing were Evolving. But I told you guys the sad story. I sold them because I thought a reprint was coming. I heard the news, and I got bamboozled. At least you had fun. That's the whole point. Let's be honest here. Like I said, was the fun worth tens of thousands of dollars? It was cheap back then. I get it, but it's like looking back, it's like, man, was the fun worth that much money? Did the same with Evolving Skies at release. If I was ever going to rip a case, it was the set to do it. Fun times, great memories, no regrets. I don't know. I would have some regrets if I opened up cases of Evolving Skies. Tell me those are not all Evo Skies boxes. There are 5. They got them for $150 or less back then. So about the price I paid. So they paid under $1,000 for them, and now just in Evolving Skies boxes, they're worth 15 grand. This is why I don't rip that $30 pile of cards you could have gotten for almost a down payment on a house. 20 grand a down payment on a house? Is that reason? I don't know. That sounds kind of low, but anyways, for sure. But I made a lot of great memories with my friends after a lot of hard work. I'm in a position for that down payment with or without Pokemon cards. So hey, it seemed like they made memories, and obviously you wouldn't know where the prices are today, so it is what it is, and they seem like they don't really regret it too much. It's just sort of maybe a funny post, but they said they made great memories, so that's good. Didn't see the comments, but you opened Evolving Skies. Obviously, you didn't open them recently. You opened them when they were 130. So that's all I want to show you guys. This post. I think we've all had it. If you guys, used to open stuff up when, things obviously weren't like today where, things are more expensive. Yeah, when things were $100 a booster box, it didn't feel too bad opening up stuff, even though the pull rates in Sword Shield were terrible. The only set, it's just extra information. You guys even watched all the way to the end of this video. I opened, surprisingly, from Fusion Strike. I don't think they were from booster boxes, but I pulled two Espeon VMAX Alt Arts from Fusion. I don't know how, but I've done it twice. And from Chilling Reign, I've pulled the Galarian Moltres. Other than that, from like Evolving Skies, I've never pulled anything. So that's all I want to show you guys here. Kind of funny just to look back on some stuff and be like, man, what could have been? But we didn't exactly know what's going to happen today. And you do have to keep stuff separate. If you are opening and investing, you can totally do that. But it does hurt when something skyrocket like Evolving Skies and Fusion Strike. So that's all I want to show you. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.